This is All Indiana Sports. Okay, I don't know if you've heard, but there may have been a little bit of a discrepancy, a little bit of a... just take a look at this. This is from a fan who was at the game at the Portland Fire and observed something that happened during one of the timeouts that we didn't see. Check this out. All right. Your thoughts, okay? Because I value your opinion because you were a high-level athlete and you know how some of this stuff goes. I think we can observe there that Stephanie White was giving some instruction and about like maybe how the flow of the game should go. Caitlin was like, "Hey, I'm trying to play without fouling," and she was. And we may talk about that a little bit later, not right now. And then Stephanie White responded with, "I don't need any of that talk back. Raven, you're in. Caitlin, you're out." Anybody in the wrong here? Caitlin's in the wrong.
Yeah, she was in the wrong. Like, she should... sorry, that's her respect for authority. Like, that Stephanie White is her authority and as her coach. And in that moment, as a leader on her team, she needed to respect that space. And I get that she is, but she's got to think bigger than just her in that moment. And she's got to think about, okay, how is what I'm doing right now in this place, in this huddle, how is it helping the team?
Okay.
And I don't think that is necessarily productive for teamwork. This was more of a...
Here is Caitlin's response and explanation for it at the practice the next day.
Competitive. There's people that really want to win, and I think a lot of those things happen all the time. And I know there's a camera on me, and that's how it's going to be. But there's a lot of people out there in the media or on TV that they think they know a lot of things, and they're just blatantly wrong about a lot of things. And I ride for Steph. I ride for these girls. Steph has my back more than anybody. So, nobody in that locker room, in our locker room, or Steph or our coaching staff thought twice about it. It's just another example of what everybody, all of you, want to blow up and make something that is just lost in, not in reality.
She went on to kind of explain what it was like with the injury and how much Steph was on her side and the relationship they have because of that. Your thoughts on that?
I'm a body language watcher, and I could tell when she was struggling with what she was saying.
Now, was she struggling with the fact that she had to deal with the question or because of what actually happened?
I think both.
Okay.
Yeah, I think both. That she was struggling with the question, that she even had to answer the question in the first place. I think she was embarrassed a little bit.
That was the leadoff question from James Boyd, who, in my opinion, is one of the best Indianapolis sports media members because he's not afraid to ask some of the tough questions. I think some of them are afraid that they're going to lose their credentials by, poking the bear.
As long as it's done appropriately and I think respectfully, and it's not done all the time, that's not the only thing that you're going after.
Right.
I think that it's fine. But I think she was embarrassed. I think she was embarrassed about it. I think that I'm a Caitlin Clark fan.
All right.
Okay, I'm a Caitlin Clark fan.
Right. We're all Indiana sports. We are Fever fans.
Yeah. No. I am a Caitlin Clark fan, too.
Right.
Like, I am a fan of her.
Mm-hmm.
I think she has a lot of room to grow. I think she has a lot of room to grow in this area. What I think could have been handled a little bit differently was I think she could have humbly taken it. And I think as a leader, she should have been it was a coaching thing that it happened, and I I needed to have a bigger picture at play. I needed to think differently, and Steph saw that, and she was able to provide that opportunity for me to think differently in this situation by putting Raven in instead of allowing me to possibly bring down the team because I was so focused on what was happening here. And while that is what it is, she was handling that. I know that I cannot even begin to understand what she has gone through within the ref situation and all the different things. But I think that as a leader she's growing to be, she's going to look back and go, yeah, I should have made that up. I should have
just
done
taking
that.
the responsibility.
Well, even in the moment, in the coaching moment with Stephanie, I think she's going to look back at that and go, yeah, I should have handled that differently.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I'm Kevin. This is my
I'm
wife, Alexis, and we are excited to present to you the All Indiana Sports Podcast.
yeah, welcome back. This episode, we will talk about the 2 games out west for the Fever, what went wrong, and how it can maybe be corrected before the Commissioner's Cup starts on Thursday. Let's go all in.
Yes, you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at All Indiana Sports, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. So let's go through the first game of the West Coast trip here at the Fire. It was an 80. Sorry, no, it was the Valkyries was the first one. That was an 88-90 loss. What I noticed, at least at this point, because at this point there were 3 losses, and all 3 of them had come in the closing seconds with an opportunity to complete a comeback.
Yeah.
And it was not done.
They were not able to close it.
What does that mean as a team then? If you have an opportunity to complete a comeback and you can't 3 different times as your only losses at that moment.
Who was on the court on the 3 losses?
Who like
Can
every?
you remember?
Well, I'm assuming.
Okay, maybe we should answer that.
No. The last game, this big game,
Okay.
I definitely know. It was the 5 that I would have had out there. That would be Caitlin Clark, Lexi Hull,
Simpson.
Sophie Cunningham, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell.
Oh, Timpson was not there.
Timpson was not out there
Sometimes they put her out at that last because
because of the
the defensive, if they're down,
right.
you know, that
and the
kind of thing.
wingspan, just the wingspan,
yeah.
just
Or
incredible.
arms
Yeah.
are,
I remember that specifically because I was thinking that's exactly what
I think
have.
this is a mental thing. I think this is a mentality thing. I think this is a trust in each other.
Something they had a lot of last year.
Yeah.
Through all the injuries.
Well,
But you have a large amount. I struggle. Not a large amount, but you have a fair amount of turnover that has happened on this roster. You've kept a lot of the core, but you have had a lot of pieces around them that have shifted and changed.
yeah. I think that Stephanie's trying to figure out how to coach these girls. Again, I think they've all been through a lot, and I think that they've all had to process a really hard year last year. And I don't know that she has a handle on coaching them just yet. And it's not her fault. It's just time. It's just going to be time and them having to work through some really difficult things like this to be able to build together as a team again, so that they can mentally overcome situations like this.
Yeah.
So it has to do with like trusting the coaching to come where it's supposed to come. And we can see just by the videos that you just shared that maybe there's not some cohesion happening there.
Yeah.
I'm not one to say that I don't think that Steph has her back. I'm not one to say that I am not saying those things with what I
Because
said
there's
earlier.
a large amount of the Fever fandom out there that's saying
I know. I
it's
don't.
time for a coaching change.
I don't know. I think that this team has been through so much. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the statistics say to show if they have, like, how much this team has been through as opposed to other teams or whatever it means. But I think that there's an extraordinary amount of unusual that they have had to go through.
Yeah.
So that makes
and you
things
put
different.
on top of that, now this is not an excuse because like all of these teams went through this, but the collective bargaining agreement, the late start to the season because of that, and then the newly invigorated, like you got big rosters and.
Yeah. I think that is we have to understand that we want the big personalities to challenge us as a coach.
Right. Oh, okay.
That's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
I think that she could really take this time to be like, okay, how do I coach this person, and is it me? Am I hindering this team? Am I holding this team back?
Mm-hmm.
I will also venture to say that Caitlin Clark is a very big player to coach as well.
Yeah.
I think that she's a very big personality, and they're difficult to coach.
The Valkyries did clamp down on Caitlin Clark, holding her to only 16 points, which was her season low thus far at that point.
They got in her head.
They also had 11 blocks as a total, not just on her, but for the entire Valkyries team. They really stepped up in that regard. But Raven Johnson, the rookie, stepped up with 16 points of her own. It's obviously a career high for her. In her young career. But then came the game at the Fire. This was a loss.
I'm trying.
This was not even a close one. There was no comeback to be had.
I kept thinking that they could. I cheered them on. Did
right?
you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you remember me? I was
we
like,
were
come
right.
on, girls.
Come on.
You got this. You can do this. Come on,
and
girls.
I do have a special point for you here toward the end of this.
no.
But foul trouble all the way around. When your 2 point guards had 11 fouls total, one of them fouled out. That would be Raven Johnson. And Caitlin had 5. This is where we can talk about the officiating.
The refs.
Because in these last 2 games, I understand that we talked about it from the very beginning. The freedom of movement, the emphasis on these new understandings. It's not new rules, but we're just getting clarity to them, was spurred on by the complaint that people were being too hard, specifically on Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. And now, the Fever continue to complain that she is now getting too many fouls called against her. You can't have even.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing with officiating is you have to call it the same on both sides of the ball.
So I have something to say.
Okay. I love it when you have something to say.
Do you think they're reffing out of spite?
This is I think
I feel like they are a little
I know that there's bias here. I absolutely, you've already said you're getting Clark.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
We know that there's
we're
bias
also
here.
not like rose-colored glasses here.
Right.
Like,
We're realists. I have never seen a sports league where this happens, where it seems, and it has seemed like this since the beginning, that is changing the game. Who the money is behind? What kind of sports league tries to push out the money? I don't get it. They're trying to, it seems, push out and malign the player that wants that looks to be changing the game. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Big words, you know.
Well, no, I'm just, you used it.
Yeah. There was a fast break. She drifted by Didn't even
Oh, I
touch
know.
them.
No.
And
She
Aaliyah
whiffed.
Boston
Whiffed.
actually did maybe cause the foul.
Yeah.
But they called it on Caitlin Clark. So yes, it
You know
does
what, really-
seem
Can we just...
as if they're trying to out her on purpose for some reason.
In the anticipation foul,
Oh, yeah.
really, really, really bothers me.
In all yeah, the
Specifically,
fast break, the layup.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't you don't need to call it.
No.
But whatever you call, make sure that the foul on one side of the ball is
Makes
the
it
foul
even, yeah.
on the other side of the ball, and vice versa if it is not.
Dude, and they're not going to be perfect like we...
No, I get it, but these are blatant discrepancies that are being had in these past two games, and it kind of came to a head in this game because there was so much, and it was Sophie Cunningham was called for an offensive foul when both players are in the air, and the defensive player was actually had her hands coming down upon, not terribly, but, and then Sophie was called for an offensive foul. Why? What are we doing? I don't get it. It's if you're gonna call it the same, call it the same. But
I agree.
let's not pretend that we're calling it the same.
Yeah.
And then say, oh well, this was the Caitlin Clark rule, and then throw it back on her. Speaking of Caitlin Clark, she did only have 6 points. The Fever had 17 turnovers, and I think there were. Coaching questions.
Oh my.
Why is Monique Billings only playing 8 minutes as a starter? If you're starting, you should be playing at least double-digit minutes and maybe probably into the 20s of a 40-minute game.
Well, but if they're starting a rotation, I don't.
Is the rotation working?
No.
Mm.
I'm not a basketball coach.
Michaela Timpson, Sophie Cunningham played over 20 minutes off the bench while Lexi Hull only played 16 as a starter.
So are we saving up for something?
Your best players should be your starters. So if they are not playing the most minutes, what are we doing? This is my problem.
Is she trying to... Okay, but think about the minutes. Kevin, these women are coming back from injury.
Monique Billings does not have an injury.
She has an injury that she has not been with the team for very long.
Oh, that's an injury?
No, I just think she needs...
Is that on the report, the injury report?
I think she
hasn't
just
played
needs...
very long with this team?
Yeah, I think she
Chemistry issue?
She needs a minute. She's trying to figure herself out because she looks confused a good majority of the time.
So maybe she shouldn't be in the starting lineup. Because, here's what you're going to love.
Okay.
Maisha Hines-Allen was the only player with a positive plus, you know how I love the plus-minus scores, a new category of several years ago.
A new category of several years ago. A new category
I think it was like
several years ago.
2-3 years ago. Where
so it wouldn't be new anymore.
It calculates whether the team is positive or negative points when you're in the game. Maisha Hines-Allen was the only one with positive. She had a +1. She played 18 minutes. So it's not like she played like 6 minutes and happened to get +1. She played 18 minutes, almost half the game. But she also had the most turnovers with 5. Yeah. So because she
was energy.
I know. You mentioned
her
this
on the court. She was energy. She was motivation. She was leadership. She's got
veteran leadership. Yep. She hit a 3. Her points weren't like I think she had 7 points. It wasn't outstanding.
It was her literal body on the court. Like she was there. It's like you can have nights that are off and not be a great like shooter like the most, but you can be such a presence. She was a presence.
Yeah.
You can be such a presence that you aren't noticed. Which
Right.
man, when you're not there, it's like the bass. It's like a bass guitar.
Oh. I'm
Musician.
here. Yep.
Yeah.
You notice the bass when it's not there. Or you notice you notice something's missing.
Yeah.
You're like, something, and then the bass comes in, you go,
Oh yeah, it was a bass. It was a bass guitar.
so then, should Maisha be in the starting lineup instead of Billings? Or is this more of a McConnell, like she needs to come off the bench to provide a spark?
I think so. I think because they're playing Sophie more in a different way.
Shouldn't that be Sophie, though? Could you have...
But they're starting and using Sophie on the court more than what they used to defensively.
Yeah. Sometimes.
She's playing more
Yeah.
this year than she did last year.
Yeah.
We could just keep her in
There are
mind.
questions, and we don't know the answers. We just try to provide some answers because there need to be some answers. Because right now, this team is at 500 with a 4-4 record headed into the Commissioner's Cup that they won last year. And they made it to...
I don't know if they're going to win it this year.
They made it to the semifinals of the WNBA. Took the eventual champions to 5 games and overtime of that 5th game. But right now, they don't even look like a playoff team. With a roster that you would think should definitely be a playoff team.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So we don't know. We just ask the questions. We try to help. But, we're a long way from there. So...
Never will be close, I don't think.
Yeah. So, but that's all that we have for today. Maybe Liam and I will be on later talking about something. I mean,
Colts-ish.
there was some crazy NFL news today. A whole bunch of people went in different places.
Y'all could throw in the Spurs if...
And yeah, I mean, go Spurs.
We do live in Texas.
Right. And, next year we're rooting for a Spurs Pacers finals.
So that would be amazing.
Anything to get rid of the Knicks. But, yeah. So, but that's all the time that we have for today.
I'm Alexis.
And I'm Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all Indiana.
This is All Indiana Sports.